Warning sirens howled through every corridor of the ship as Commander Sarah Chen sprinted down the tight metal passageway. Her boots struck the floor in sharp echoes while crimson emergency lights pulsed, turning the ship into something out of a waking nightmare. She already knew the truth before engineering confirmed it: the wandering star was dying. "Status report," she demanded into her communicator. The reply came fractured, trembling with fear. "Commander, the reactor is lost. Life support has maybe 6 hours left. Radiation levels are climbing fast." Sarah felt her chest tighten. They were stranded 3 weeks from the nearest human settlement. Their distress signal screamed into empty space where no one would hear it. No one even knew where they were. When she reached the bridge, 12 exhausted faces looked back at her, 12 lives depending on her leadership. Jenkins clutched his stomach, already sick from radiation exposure. Maria pressed a cloth beneath her nose, blood seeping through. Every one of them was fading. "Keep the beacon active," Sarah said, forcing calm into her voice, though hope felt thin. This sector of space was uncharted and lifeless. Humans had come here chasing discovery, brave and foolish as always. Now they would pay for it. Time dragged painfully. The ship grew colder, the air tasting wrong with every breath. Jenkins collapsed and was rushed to medical, but the doctor could only shake his head. Radiation was already destroying them from the inside. Sarah sat alone on the bridge, staring at the stars, thinking of Earth. Of her 5-year-old son, Marcus. She had promised to come home. Promised him stories and star maps. Now he would grow up without her. "Commander," the communications officer suddenly said, sitting upright. "I'm detecting a signal." Sarah's heart jumped. "Identify it." "It's a ship, but not human. Design doesn't match anything in our records. It's approaching fast." Fear and hope tangled in her chest. Humanity had met alien species before, and not all encounters ended peacefully. But they had no other option. The alien vessel was enormous and graceful, shaped like a living sea creature, glowing softly in blue light. A voice crackled over the radio, strange yet translated clearly. "Human ship. This is the Valkyrie vessel Gentle Current. We received your distress call. Your ship is failing. Do you require assistance?" Sarah nearly broke down. "Yes. Please. 12 crew. Severe radiation exposure. Life support failing." After a pause, the voice returned. "Our laws forbid interference. But my crew has decided. We will not abandon you. Prepare for docking." The hours that followed passed in a blur. The Valkyrie were tall, reptilian beings with green-scaled skin and luminous yellow eyes, yet their movements were careful and gentle. They carried the injured humans into their medical bay with surprising tenderness. Captain Thesic watched over the process as Valkyrie doctors worked swiftly to stabilize the crew. "Your species is delicate," Thesic said kindly. "The radiation would have ended your lives within hours." Sarah met his gaze. "Then why help us? You said it violates your laws." Thesic tilted his head in what seemed like a soft smile. "Because mercy matters more than rules. We will face punishment when we return home, but we will accept it." Every human survived. Medicine, clean air, and care saved them all. The Valkyrie even repaired the wandering star enough to make the journey back to human space, staying alongside them for 2 weeks to ensure their safety. On the final day, as the human ship prepared to jump home, Sarah stood with Thesic in the docking bay. "I don't know how to repay you," she said quietly. "No repayment is required," he replied. "Return to your family." Sarah shook her head. "You don't understand humans. We remember. We remember kindness, and debts. My people will know what you did." She recorded a formal statement, naming Thesic and the Gentle Current, documenting their sacrifice and courage. "Humanity will not forget," she declared. Thesic accepted the recording without fully grasping its meaning. 40 years later, Valkyrie Prime burned. Captain Sela Thesic watched orbital stations explode as the CRE Dominion's warships tore through Valkyrie defenses. The Valkyrie were not warriors. They had rescue fleets, not battle armadas. Negotiation failed. Colonies fell silent. Evacuation orders came too late for millions. That night, Sela visited her grandfather, Elder Thesic, lying frail in a medical ship. When she told him the Council's pleas for help had been ignored, he asked a single question. Did they contact the humans? She hesitated. That was decades ago. Thesic retrieved an old recorder. Humans remember longer than we do. Despite the risk, Sela sent the message herself, attaching the recording, the old star charts, and footage of destruction. Her final words were simple. We once helped you. We remember our friends. Do you? She sent it toward human space, expecting nothing. 14 days later, alarms echoed across the refugee fleet. Mass hyperspace signatures, the sensor officer shouted. Hundreds of ships. Sela's blood ran cold, until the scans finalized. They're human. Over 300 vessels emerged from hyperspace in flawless formation, broadcasting a single message. We remember. The Valkyrie are under our protection. Tears streamed down Sela's face as Earth-marked ships positioned themselves between the CRE fleet and Valkyrie civilians. Admiral Marcus Chen stood aboard his flagship, the Remembrance. He had seen the message. Heard his mother's voice promise that humanity would never forget. She had spoken for them all. When the CRE commander demanded they leave, Marcus replied calmly. Withdraw or be destroyed. The battle that followed shocked the galaxy. Humans did not fight for territory, they fought for loyalty. Cargo ships rammed warships. Medical vessels shielded refugees. CRE battleships were disabled by coordinated swarms. Humans sacrificed themselves without hesitation. The CRE fled. The debt was paid. After the war, humans and Valkyrie rebuilt together. Admiral Chen finally met Elder Thesic, the being who saved his mother. Marcus played one final recording Sarah had left behind, thanking Thesic for giving her the chance to watch her son grow. I only wanted to help, Thesic whispered. That's how everything changes, Marcus replied. A formal alliance was forged, but Marcus declined praise. You already repaid us 40 years ago, by showing mercy. Across the galaxy, the story spread. Help one human, and someday an armada will come. And humanity proved what it had always been, dangerous, loyal, relentless, and unforgetting.